Hi guys. So one of the things that comes to my mind when thinking about stonewalling is the cause for stonewalling. I know, we talked about what stonewalling is. Like, if someone you're having a conversation, let's say one person is getting worked up and the other person starts like watching TikTok on their phone or, refuses to engage, doesn't look at them, something where not only are they not engaging, but they're showing they're not engaging. So, it's a defensive action according to Gottman. And Carly, you brought up a really interesting point with, is a break from conflict healthy? And when is it stonewalling and more of a destructive behavior? I think the main difference there is how it's communicated. I do feel like even though like it's a defensive action to stonewall, but it also sends a really strong message like, I don't care. But like I mentioned earlier, like thinking about the cause of stonewalling, it could be that they're super overwhelmed or they feel rejected. So I think identifying that is key for the counselor, what's behind this behavior and how can we address that before it becomes um, where you just have to escape. If it is something that's maybe um, animosity that's manifesting, then that's a different conversation, I would think. But I think what makes it healthy versus unhealthy is how they communicate that. Do they just start stonewalling and withdraw? Or do they say, you know what, I need a minute? And then if the other person doesn't stop, I don't think stonewalling is something unhealthy. I think it's setting boundaries potentially, even if it's not maybe the ideal way to set boundaries or might cause escalation in the conflict.